Hello, I'm Andy Edwards, and we're going to be talking with Claire Hallissey, one of the British contenders in Sunday's Virgin London Marathon for an Olympic place. And she's really been making her mark on the marathon scene in Britain. Claire, you're unusual in that you're based in the USA, but you're very much a British contender, and you've broken through to be running 2:29 Chicago last year. What's your mood, your form going into Sunday's race?
I've had a good solid training period. Things have gone pretty much as well as I could hope. The odd kind of niggle here and there, but nothing too major. So I'm kind of lining up with no excuses, I guess.
There's just one place left in the British team for the women, and Jo Pavey has run 2:28.24. You and your other rivals have got to beat that time. Are you confident of running inside 2:28?
I'd like to think so. My training's gone better than it did before Chicago, so the signs are there that I should be able to run faster than I did at Chicago. I guess part of it's going to come down to what the weather does on the day, but I think I'm in with a shot, definitely.
In Chicago last October, you improved your personal best by 7 minutes. So is an improvement of that kind of margin on the cards?
I don't think even in sort of my wildest dreams I've got any hopes of kind of making quite that big a leap and improvement again. Obviously going from sort of debut fairly kind of cautious performance at New York to Chicago, there was plenty of room for improvement. Obviously I'm hoping that I'll be able to take another kind of minute and a half or so off my time from Chicago, but I'm definitely not really realistically aiming for another 7-minute improvement, although it would be nice.
You've used altitude training in the build-up for this race, training in Boulder, Colorado in the States. Is that proved beneficial?
It definitely seemed to work for me last year. My first experience of altitude training was actually in sort of around April, May last year when I was out in the Pyrenees, and I came back from that and got a PB over a 10k. That was my first indication that altitude seemed to work for me. So that's why I then based myself in Boulder before Chicago last year.
Do you still think you're learning the marathon? You're still fairly new to it. Do you think you've got lessons still to learn?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a big learning experience on Sunday because the whole approach to the race is going to have to be completely different to how I've gone into my last two races, because obviously the kind of time and competing with the rest of the Brits on the day, that's kind of everything, as opposed to the first two marathons I've done where I've just kind of gone into them kind of just to see what I can do kind of thing, and been able to be fairly relaxed about it.
And the women's field is really awesome in general. Does that give you a special tingle, perhaps a special incentive to do well, because you look around and see so many great women runners?
Yeah, I mean, it would be obviously great lining up alongside all these super speedy kind of African runners. But I think the nicest thing from my point of view is that there's such a strong British field going into it. Obviously, like a lot of the focus recent London marathons has ended up being on kind of the large African field, which fair enough, obviously they're all running very quick, but it is nice that there's actually going to be this competition amongst the Brits this year. Obviously we'll be a little bit further back than the front runners are likely to be, which is a bit of a shame, but it will be nice to just get out there and get competing.
We wish you every success in that competition, that vital competition for an Olympic place on Sunday. Thanks a lot, Claire.
Thank you.